Good morning, everybody. Good morning, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to our American Daily Briefing. Today, we're going to talk about different political, economic, and social events going on in the United States. So if you like the United States and keep being informed, please stay with us. We are a newly created channel and would appreciate if you can subscribe and support us through this journey. So first of all, in the United States, there is what we call healthcare anxiety. Anxiety because the ARCA or the insurance premium is set to end this year. And next year, most people will not have any insurance at all, or the premium will double or will be 3 times more or expensive than the previous one. And this is one of the big events going on and big discuss in the United States. So the United States is navigating a complex landscape defined by shifting economic confidence, significant foreign policy moves, and critical debates over domestic health care. So today, yes, the president is scheduled to deliver a major primetime address to the nation tonight at 9 p.m. He is expected to recount his administration's historic accomplishment over the past year and outline his vision for 2026. Venezuela blockade. The administration has announced a complete blockade on oil tankers moving to and from Venezuela. The president cited the move as necessary until the return of assets he claims were stolen from the U.S. In foreign policy, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting with Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani today to discuss regional security and economic cooperations. Congressional movement in the House. Speaker Michael Johnson has reportedly blocked votes on extending the Enhanced Affordable Care Act ACA subsidies, which are currently set to expire at the end of the year. ACA Affordable Care Act is the insurance premiums for the United States residents and citizens and is set to expire, and this is making many people an anxiety about the feeling of insurance and so and forth. A new PBS News NPR poll released today shows 57% of Americans now disapprove of the president handling the economy, the highest disapproval rating of his current term. Though he is said to address the nation today about his performance, it's expected that President Trump will talk about his positive performances at all the time. In stock markets are showing cautious optimism today, with futures rising slightly after 3 consecutive days of losses. Discussion is intensifying over who will replace Jerome Powell as a Federal Reserve Chair when his term ends in May 2026. This Jerome Powell, the Federal Chair, was once asked who pays tariff, and sometimes he dodged the question. In labor data, recent data shows the job market is cooling while 64,000 jobs were added in November. The unemployment rate has ticked up to 4.6%, its highest level since 2021. A survey of chief financial officers released today indicates that while there is moderate optimism in the United States for 2026, concerns remains regarding the impact of tariffs and anticipated price increase in the United States. With the likely expirations of ACA subsidies, millions of Americans are facing the prospect of their health insurance premiums doubling in the new year. Polls also show more than half of the country is worried about their ability to afford medical care in 2026, which is the blame to the Trump administration and GOP and MAGA movement now on power. In California, state lawmakers are introducing new legislation to address the toxic pollutions and noxious gases flowing from the Tijuana River, calling it an international environment disaster. Today, surprisingly, Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth is hosting a Christmas worship services at the Pentagon today, featuring guests Franklin Graham, highlighting the administration emphasizes on traditional religious observancy in government spaces. We would like also, in one of the most significant foreign policy shift of the year, the U.S. has ordered a total and complete naval blockade of sanctions oil tankers moving to and from Venezuela. This has drawn sharp condemnation from Maduro government and has already begun causing ripples in the global oil market and Asia stock exchange. This has also triggered a backlash from international leaders from Europe to Australia and from Asia to Latinos. Australia is in mourning following a mass shooting at the Bondi Beach, targeting a Hanukkah celebration. The 24-year-old gunman, whose father was also involved, has been charged with 15 counts of murder. The attack has sparked a massive debate over Australian gun laws and rising anti-Semitism, which is equally the same in the United States. Fragile Gaza ceasefire. The UN Security Council heard today that the ceasefire in Gaza remains fragile as winter weather turns deadly for displaced persons. Meanwhile, Israel has announced plans to 9,000 new houses in East Jerusalem, a move critics say is designed to block any future Palestinian state settlement. EU leaders, we are now in Ukraine. EU leaders are meeting this week to discuss unprecedented steps to use frozen Russia assets to fund Ukraine. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin has issued sharp rhetoric toward European leaders, stating Russia will achieve its goal in Ukraine through either diplomacy or by force. That's President Vladimir Putin. And while oil price jumped following the Venezuela blockade news, global shares have seen mixed results. Traders are also closely watching the Bank of Japan, which is expected to decide on potential interest rate hike late this week. UK rejoins Erasmus in a major post-Brexit move. The UK has reached $570 million deal to rejoin the EU Erasmus Student Exchange Scheme, signaling a significant shift in UK-EU relationship. In trade and modernizations, a landmark UN-backed agreement was adopted today to modernize the paperwork of global shipping, a move expected to make international trade faster and cheaper by digitizing historic maritime bureaucracies. Now, in Africa, Sudan humanitarian corrupts. The UN warns the situation in Sudan Kordofan region is rapidly worsening due to intensified hostilities, with drones attack reportedly killing over 100 civilians today. In humanitarian area, humanitarian aid at records low globally. Humanitarian agencies at the UN report that global aid budget have hit historic have hit historic lows just as environmental disaster and conflict are peaking. The one of protection gap for millions of refugees in 2026. There is disaster in Morocco. Flash floods in the city of Safi, Morocco, have killed at least 37 people, prompting nationwide emergency. Back to United States, as we said, the premium for insurance are set to increase at the end of this year due to the failure of the Capitol Hill, the Congress, to extend the ACA subsidiaries. And now it's said that Michael Johnson, the Speaker of the Parliament, has blocked the resolution which is supposed to extend this ACA. This is American First episode where we talk about the current events, political, economic, and social going on across the United States, but also on global level. Thank you so much for being with us. Please subscribe, share, and like for more. See you tomorrow.